the man from Essex headlining in Liverpool in front of a big crowd, now Manchester, one of the biggest stars of British boxing, one of the biggest stars in world boxing. We're going to go over to the floor for questions.
Conor, just in terms of how disruptive that was, as Eddie mentioned, what were your immediate reactions after that one? Did that go exactly how you thought it was going to go?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't surprised. I hit him in the first round hard, and you know when you hit someone hard, and you know that it hurts them. So I'm not really surprised, to be honest, mate. That's what I train hard for. I knew all my knockouts coming in 4 rounds, so I knew him trying to outbox me and use his trickiness. We weren't going to work. He was eventually going to catch up with me.
There's been rumblings of the Hearn fight maybe happening next. Obviously, he got in the ring afterwards. What did you make of that experience in the ring with him? Did you actually think that's realistic?
I don't think so. No, not to be honest. Listen, he's done what he's had to do. I saw a few articles of him saying that he fancies the fight with me. So I thought we'd get him in there to express them sort of feelings, which weren't there. So it's fine. Listen, I'm on a different trajectory with my career, and the only way's up.
Do you think it was unfair that he got booed in there tonight? It's a bit sad to see someone like that get that sort of treatment afterwards.
Of course it is. I mean, listen, he's former world champion. He's achieved everything a young fighter could want to achieve in the sport of boxing. So it wasn't fair he got booed, but it is what it is. The crowd like what they like. I ain't gonna sit and run about it.
For yourself, you've always said, I'll fight anyone that's put in front of me.
Anyone. I ain't too fussed with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I work hard. This is what I work hard for. I train to fight anyone. I'm fight southpaw, orthodox, boxer, puncher, mover, whatever. It really don't faze me.
Kind of prior to the fight, Chris said Dom McGuinness was the best fighter he fought. Did you speak to that for the fight and compared your performance against Dom?
Again, talking's cheap. It doesn't matter what people say or what people think. It matters what I think. And when I say I'm the best welterweight, the best welterweight out there, that's what I believe. So it doesn't matter what he says or what Algeria says or what anyone else says. It matters what you believe. And I believe I'm one of the best welterweights out there in the world. So everyone's good. When you get to this stage, it's a matter of small measures. It's a matter of inches in the difference. So I believe I'm up there at world level. So don't really matter to me.
What do you want next?
I'm honestly not fussed. I fight whoever. I really mean that. I fight whoever they put in front of me. It's going to help me get higher up in the rankings. You see, we've got you guys fighting tonight. So any of them, it don't bother me.
And did you expect to finish like that?
Not that early. I said that if Van Heerden could get past 4 or 5 rounds, it could be interesting, but Conor's a beast, even from the first bell, just wouldn't give him a second. And that's what you've got to do to it, especially to older fighters that have been a little bit inactive. You've got to set about them. And that's why he's so exciting. Took a few in the first round, but to land several more. And, already after the first round, he went back to the corner thinking, what the fuck have I signed up for here? And obviously in the second round, he just got absolutely destroyed. So there'll always be criticism, but no one's done that to Chris Van Heerden. But what that does show by dealing with a fighter of that quality, that easily, is it's time. It's time to move up and it's time to move on. And the progression's been incredible. And as I said earlier, it would be absolute madness to get to world championship level having never faced a southpaw. For his development, I think that was really important and it was another brilliant performance.
To be honest, I'm saying what Conor Benn is, it all comes back to KER What can realistically happen?
Well, tonight actually we're supposed to fight Maurice Hooker, which is actually a really good fight. And if we fight sooner rather than later, that could be another name that comes in. But if we wait till later in the summer, Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, Keith Hearn, Adrian Broner, these are all massive fights that fill up the O2. But I feel that he's ready for those guys. It's nerve-wracking because they're another level to the opposition we've been facing. But he's been breezing through this opposition. And it's really down to Tony to say, Conor would fight anybody. It wouldn't even have to go to him to ask. But it'll be Tony's decision to look at it and say, yes, the perfect step now at the perfect time. So it doesn't really matter. I can tell you fights that will fill the O2 and pay Conor Benn a load of money. But this man will be the one that says, yes, or maybe one more, and so on.
Conor, when Eddie mentions about filling the O2 against an American name, there's also the other side of it is you could break America as well. Eddie's obviously got match in USA, absolutely flying. Is that something that's on your radar as well?
Definitely, but I want to keep it here for the British public for the time being. I mean, I want them to, really see the progression, and they have. And it's a blessing to be fighting all over the country. Fighting in Liverpool, Leeds, Manchester. It's a blessing. Still ain't fought with Newcastle. Which could be. Yeah,
but also when you look at it, every fighter that's drawing a big crowd in the UK right now is at the back end stages of his career. Even AJ is, he's still got plenty of fights left, but Tyson Fury, Kell Brooks just fought, he's virtually done. Chris Eubank, he doesn't draw the same crowd as Conor, but at the same time, he is at the back end of his career. Conor's a young man. Conor's got 5-6 years left in the sport. So that's why it's really important to keep him in the UK as well, because the headline acts of British boxing, they're actually filling arenas, are coming to the back end of his career. There's no one his age in the UK. There's actually not really anyone in the UK outside of AJ and probably Tyson Fury who are capable of boxing every city and drawing good solid crowds. So I want to keep him in the UK, but of course we have the ability to put him in the US anytime we want. But also, he's making a lot of money, wants to make even more money, and to do that, we want him in the UK headlining in big fights.
Conor, in that sense, I was talking about, going back to the opportunity, like as you see, you've been a road warrior going around and everything like that, so what would lead you to go back? So it's nice of you to fill it out against the
I don't know, mate, because listen, a ring's a ring for me. I'll fight anyone, I fight anyone in a telephone box. There could be Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck sitting ringside, you're in a fight. It could be anywhere, it could be in a car park. You're not focused on that or where it is, the location. You're just focused on getting the job done and beating the other man up convincingly. When I'm in there, I'm just focused on my opponent. But fighting back in London would be great. Great for the fans, great for the supporters. But it don't matter to me where I fight as long as it's in the UK. It's overwhelming the love I get shown when I come to Manchester, Liverpool. I mean, I'll never get used to it. Let's put it like that. I walked out there and I went to Luke. I'll never get used to this. Like the love, people waiting around for me, and it's just. What do I do to deserve? It's just nice. It really is nice.
Eddie mentioned some great names. He says if you want to go maybe later in this, what would you want? Like I know things can change, but in an ideal situation, who would you pick now?
Who would I pick? It would make sense for me. Brook's number one in the rankings. I don't know about now, but he is the number one in the ranking in terms of Britain. He's former world champion. He's just come off a great win with Hearn. He's highly ranked in the world rankings. That makes sense for me in terms of progression of my career because he's ranked. I'm not too fussed about the Hearn fight. The reason I haven't got him in the ring was for him to express them feelings that he's said in other interviews about him wanting to fight me. But as now we know it's not the case in black and white. So Kell Brook will probably be my go-to, and then obviously you've got Keith Hearn with Danny Garcia, Mikey Garcia. I'm not too interested in Maurice Hooker. I think he's of the same level as Van Hearden. I think the Danny Garcias and Mikey Garcias, you guys fighting tonight, those are the sort of names I want. But listen, I'll let them do the matchmaking. I'll do the fighting. And as long as I keep beating them all convincingly, we're all good.
It looks like Brook might be one further down the line. Is that Eubank fight catch with?
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But I don't know. You got a welterweight fighter. I think it's another compliment to Kell Brook as well. Don't forget when we were negotiating to talk about Brook Khan, I dropped that offer and I said to Amir Khan, let's just make the Conor Benn fight. And it's not that he was scared of Conor Benn, but he didn't want a young, fucking horrible pest in the ring that was just going to brutalise him. He wanted to fight someone who was probably looking for a payday as well. But then after that, now we said to Kell Brook, we've offered him the same money that he made to fight Amir Khan, and he asked for £10 million. I mean, that tells you all he says. And now Kell Brook's looking to fight Chris Eubank Jr. at 158 rather than fighting Conor Benn at his weight. We'd take that fight at 150, no problem. So that shows you again, it's the compliments to Conor Benn. Because what they're looking at, and they're looking at him and going, he's a fucking horrible, spiteful motherfucker. So you've got to give me 10 million quid to get in with that horrible, spiteful motherfucker. I'll fight Chris Eubank Jr. instead at £158. What a compliment, instead of him. What a compliment. A couple of years ago, they were laughing at him, going, I'll fight Conor Benn. Oh, blimey. Now they're asking for 10 mil to fight Conor Benn.
Love it.
Do you find that the matchmaking is going to get more difficult then?
More difficult and more expensive.
If you can't make one of the big fights, what about the winner of Tyson versus Danny Wilson?
Butayev against. I mean, look, this is like the same question as David Avanesian, right? Really good fighters, zero profile. And you know, they think I'm being rude about that. I'm not being rude. I'm giving them the credit of saying really good fighters. But if you've got Stanionis, if you've got David Avanesian, and you've got Mikey Garcia, and they're all the same level, and Mikey Garcia pays you 3 times more than Stanionis and David Avanesian, what are you going to do? No, but then we look at those guys. But it's my job to make those fights, and I will make those fights. But if we can't, we don't have a problem looking at those fighters. But it's risk reward. They're all the same level. Fuck the regular title. Fuck the regular title. Because you win a regular title, oh, you ain't a world champion. So, you know, I love Gilberto Mendoza, and he's messaged me tonight saying we want Conor Benn to be our guy. We want him to fight for the world title. But I'd write, you know, they're trying to all of a sudden consolidate the belts anyway. But Stanionis for the WBA title, regular title, that's a really tough fight. You won't even get the credit of becoming a world champion. So you might as well go and fight Errol Spence or Terence Crawford.
If you want to get to World Champion,
no, because no one knows, no one's heard of Stanionis apart from you. I bet half the people in this room haven't heard of Stanionis. I'll do Stanionis at the O2 and we'll sell 5,000 tickets in an absolute war against a bloke no one's ever heard of. Or what about we fight Adrian Broner and we fill up 20,000 and he makes a couple of million quid? That's what we want to see. Or Stanionis, like, you've got to let me play the game.
Conor, spoke to your dad.
I haven't spoken to my dad, actually. I haven't, and I need to. I just realised he's probably over the moon. I don't think he expects anything less. He expects nothing less.
Right, guys. And one more question. Dave?
Go on.
I was going to ask, we talk about all of these compliments that everyone's giving you by avoiding you. How do you deal with that frustration? How does that motivate you to push through your career?
I'm not really frustrated because at the end of the day, I'm not really fazed by anyone else or what they think. I'm on a good trajectory at the minute with my career, and you know, I'm in a great position. I'm doing what I need to do. You know, I ain't really concerned about what anyone else says because it ain't relevant. It don't matter. I know I'm doing the right thing. I'm clearly doing the right thing because I'm sitting here right now doing this interview undefeated. And it's not just doing it undefeated, it's how I look doing it. So I'm clearly doing the right thing. All you other people who are chasing me or hunting me down, all you want is payday. You want payday. And I ain't giving it to them because while they're making what they're making, I'm making what I'm making. And I'm knocking people out.
Well, we saw Conor's face when he came into the ring and he did not want to deal with that.
No, I know, but I thought I'd give him the opportunity to come in here and express because I thought if he goes, yeah, we fancy it, well, then, you know, it's a done deal. But he don't. But you can't blame him because at the end of the day, if I was him, I wouldn't fancy it. Genuinely. Who needs that in their life? Who needs me in their life?